What we want to do in this video is we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, why you shouldn't set them, and then what to do instead. And then we're going to give some personal examples about how we're doing this in the new year. We invite you guys to kind of come along and see if this process works for you, because we both agree New Year's resolutions suck. We don't set them. Let's get right into it.
The first thing you want to do is you want to reflect on last year.
When you're doing this, you got to think about, there are different areas of our lives. Yeah. We have personal, family, professional. We have all these different roles that we're in. In reflecting on our year, we want to think about each of those different areas of our life, how we wanted them to go, and then acknowledge what actually happened. The next thing is you need to reframe your limiting beliefs, because a lot of times what happens is we create excuses as to why what we wanted to happen didn't happen. For me, one of my goals was with my music business, Millennial Monster. I wanted to bring in $4,000 a month from that business. And one of the reasons I said that I couldn't accomplish that goal last year was because it heavily involved doing analytics and Facebook advertisements. And I'm not a details person. Like as we were talking about earlier, like when Hannah's a detailed person. When she starts talking about all the details, I start going,
glaze over.
So I had to reframe that limiting belief to say, I'm not a details person, but I can hire somebody who is, or I can learn to be. So the next step is SMART goals, and we're going to talk about what that is.
Okay, so SMART goals. I'm pretty sure you've heard what a SMART goal is.
If you haven't heard of one, a SMART goal simply stands for specific,
measurable,
actionable,
realistic,
and time-bound. So instead of setting a vague resolution, set a specific goal that you can measure whether or not you've actually accomplished it. So remember how I said last year my goal for Millennial Monster, my music business, was I wanted to earn $4,000 a month in income from it? Well, this year, I created a SMART goal. Set up 5 additional revenue streams on Millennial Monster and use a combination of webinars, content, email, and Facebook advertisements by August 31st.
That's what a SMART goal is, and you want to make sure that every goal you set checks that letter off the list.
After you set your SMART goals, you want to make sure that they're relevant to your situation. For an example of that, we're going to be traveling next year through Oceania and Asia. Her goal is to have a self-contained full body workout at least 4 days a week, every week. All she needs to have is her body and a floor. That way she doesn't have to be in a certain situation in order for her to be able to reach her goal. So when you set your goals, whatever they are, make sure that you take your situation into context, right? Make it easy for yourself to accomplish them instead of putting all these barriers in place.
Another thing you want to keep in mind as you're working towards your goals, you want to make sure that you review, tweak, and adjust. Because sometimes you might figure out that in the very beginning it was a really, really big goal, but then it might become too easy. And if it's too easy, you want to make sure that you review it and you want to adjust it to give yourself a challenge. And here comes Greg with our...
Ow. So these are our panda planners.
I get the blue one, my favorite color.
And what it is it's got monthly, weekly, and daily pages. It creates a great framework to set habits and focus on the things that are most important to you. If you want more information about setting your own goals instead of resolutions, we read the book Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt. He gives a whole framework and has action steps at the end of every chapter. We'll include a link below. If you want to check it out, you can. But we highly recommend it if you're wanting to have a great year. So in summary, next year, don't set New Year's resolutions. They're too vague. Instead, set specific goals. Acknowledge what you wanted to happen this last year, reflect on why it didn't happen, and then create a specific, measurable, actionable step that you can reach. What did you want to happen this last year that didn't quite happen, and what could you do this upcoming year to change that? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we have a few resources that we've used to help us set goals for the year. If you want any of those, we're going to put links to them in the description. If you buy them, we'll get a small little commission from it that's no cost to you. You can totally choose to not use our link or not, but if you do, we appreciate it. And we will see you next year. One of the things we reflected on this last year is Hannah rambles a lot, and I'm really good at sticking to the script or just being concise. So one of the things Hannah is actually goals for this year of doing the videos.
Be concise. Get to the point.
Waiting on Hannah. Waiting on Hannah. Winded.
Yeah, go get back into my exercise schedule. Okay.
That would be an example of a goal you would not want to set because it's too vague.
Exactly.